It's wonderful to be with you again. Tell me honestly, have you noticed how, over the years, the skin on your face seems to lose its former elasticity? It becomes thinner, drier, almost like parchment, and every wrinkle seems deeper. This isn't just your imagination. After 60, our skin truly changes. Collagen production decreases, cell turnover slows down, and the natural protective barrier thins out, like the finest silk in the wind. And you know what's most frustrating? Sometimes, without even realizing it, we speed up this process with things that seem completely harmless and routine. Yes, some of these enemies of youth might be in your bathroom right now. They work quietly, unnoticed, like invisible thieves, stealing your skin's radiance and comfort day by day. But don't rush to get upset. Today, I'll tell you about 5 such saboteurs, and, most importantly, how easily you can neutralize them. Together, we'll replace them with gentle allies for your beauty. I promise, no complex rituals or fabulously expensive products. Just simple, accessible steps that will help your skin feel hydrated, calm, and look noticeably fresher again. You'll feel the difference, not just on your face, but in your mood too. Ready to learn these secrets? Then stay with me until the very end. This will be very helpful. So, where does our facial care routine usually begin? With cleansing, of course, and right here, the first hidden enemy might be lurking, often disguised as a friend of cleanliness, ordinary bar soap, especially alkaline, which many of us have used for years. What's wrong with it, you might ask? It cleans so well, squeaky clean. That very squeakiness is the catch. What should you do? Replace it with a mild cleanser with a neutral pH, a foam, gel, or cleansing milk designed for dry or sensitive skin. Let me tell you the story of Margaret. She's 65. All her life, she washed her face with ordinary baby soap, believing it was the safest option. But as she aged, she noticed that after every wash, her face felt unbearably tight. Her skin peeled, especially in winter, and her cheeks often turned red. She'd sigh, "Getting old is no picnic. My skin just isn't the same." When her daughter suggested trying a special foaming cleanser for mature skin, Margaret brushed it off. Nonsense. It's all marketing. Soap is soap, tried and tested for decades. Internally, she felt discomfort, but the thought of changing a lifelong habit felt almost like betraying her own principles of simplicity. It seemed to her that all these newfangled things were just a waste of money. But her daughter persisted and left the bottle of foam by the sink. A couple of days later, when the familiar soap ran out, Margaret reluctantly decided to try it. Imagine her surprise. The gentle, airy foam glided smoothly over her skin, without that abrasive feeling. And after washing, there was no usual tightness. Her skin was clean, yet soft, velvety, and felt like it could breathe. At first, Margaret couldn't believe her senses. She continued using the foam for a week, then 2. And she noticed that the peeling had almost stopped, the redness on her cheeks had lessened, and her complexion looked more even. Why did this happen? Our ordinary soap has an alkaline environment, high pH, which destroys the skin's acidic protective mantle. Imagine your skin is a delicate garden, and the protective mantle is a thin layer of fertile soil that retains moisture and protects against pests. Alkaline soap acts like a heavy downpour with hail. It washes away this soil, leaving the garden defenseless and dried out. The skin loses moisture, becomes vulnerable to irritation and bacteria, and ages faster. Mild cleansers with a neutral or slightly acidic pH work like a caring gardener with a watering can. They cleanse gently without disrupting the natural balance, preserving that precious fertile soil. They often contain moisturizing components like glycerin hyaluronic acid that immediately start caring for the skin. For Margaret, this was a revelation. She didn't just get rid of discomfort, she felt that her skin was alive again. This small change brought back not only comfort, but also confidence. So, my dears, take a closer look at your cleanser. Perhaps simply switching to a milder product will be the first step towards radiant and healthy skin. Your skin will thank you with a gentle touch and a feeling of comfort. But gentle cleansing alone isn't always enough, right? We want our skin to be not only clean, but also smooth, even, without flakiness. And here, another trap often awaits us: overly aggressive scrubs, with large, sharp particles, like those made from apricot kernels or salt. We use them hoping to polish the skin, but for our thin, mature skin, this can be disastrous. What's the alternative? Opt for gentle exfoliants, enzyme powders, peeling gels, gommage type, or products with a small percentage of AHA or BHA acids, like lactic or glycolic acid, designed for mature skin. Let's remember Arthur. He's 70. Arthur always thought men's skin should be tough and didn't pay much attention to it, but he was bothered by the rough texture of his skin and a dull complexion. Following advice from a magazine, he bought a scrub with very harsh particles and started actively polishing his face a couple of times a week, thinking the harder he rubbed, the better the result. He rubbed until his skin was red, feeling a tingling sensation, and thought, "See, it's working." But his skin only became more irritated, even inflamed in places, and didn't get any smoother. He grumbled to himself, "All this advice is nonsense. Probably nothing can help at my age." He felt awkward admitting, even to himself, that he was worried about his appearance, and this hidden frustration soured his mood. His granddaughter, noticing her grandfather's reddened face, gently asked about his routine. Learning about the harsh scrub, she brought him an enzyme powder, a powder that turns into a gentle foam when mixed with water and softly dissolves dead skin cells without any friction. Arthur was skeptical. Some kind of powder? Can it really clean anything? I need a proper brush. But his granddaughter persuaded him to try it. He mixed the powder with water, applied the foam to his face, left it on for a minute, and rinsed. No rubbing, no discomfort. Is that all? He thought, disappointed. But even after the first use, his skin felt different, smoother, softer. And after a couple of weeks of regular use, twice a week, Arthur noticed that his complexion looked fresher, the dullness was gone, and his skin looked more cared for. He even started liking his reflection in the mirror more. What happened here? Aggressive scrubs with sharp particles act like sandpaper or even a gravel road on our thin, aging skin. They don't just remove dead cells, they scratch the living skin, creating microtears. This disrupts the protective barrier, leads to inflammation, redness, and can even worsen pigmentation. Instead of smoothness, we get irritation and even greater vulnerability. Gentle exfoliants, enzymatic or acid-based, work completely differently. Imagine not a gravel road, but a skilled restorer, carefully removing old layers, revealing the beauty underneath. Enzymes or acids gently dissolve the bonds between dead skin cells, allowing them to slough off easily without traumatizing the skin. This stimulates cell renewal, improves texture and complexion, and makes the skin more receptive to subsequent care, cream serums. Arthur felt not only a physical improvement in his skin, but also psychological relief. He realized that caring for himself could be gentle and effective without abusing his skin. Therefore, my dears, if you're still using a harsh scrub, perhaps it's time to retire it. Give your skin the gift of gentle renewal, and it will reward you with radiance and smoothness. Let's assume we've chosen gentle cleansing and exfoliation. Your skin is already grateful. But even the best products might not work, or could even cause harm, if we wash with water at the wrong temperature. Yes, I'm talking about our love for very hot water, especially when it's chilly outside. Oh, how pleasant it feels, relaxing, warming. But for our facial skin, especially after 60, it's a real ordeal. What to do? Get used to washing and rinsing your face only with lukewarm or even cool water. Let's meet Eleanor. She's 68. Eleanor adored long hot showers and always washed her face under an almost scalding stream of water. She felt it helped to steam her skin and cleanse it better. But over time, she started noticing that her facial skin was constantly somewhat red, especially on her cheeks. Visible capillaries, cuperose, appeared, and the feeling of dryness became her constant companion, no matter how much cream she applied. She attributed this to age and sensitive skin, not connecting it to her beloved habit. "I guess my skin is just like this now," she sighed, feeling slightly annoyed at her reflection, which always seemed irritated. One day, she read an article about the effects of hot water on the skin and decided to experiment. Reluctantly, oh, how she craved that familiar warmth, she started washing her face only with slightly warm water. The first few days felt strange, even a bit chilly. She felt like her skin wasn't clean enough. An inner voice whispered, "Go back to hot water. It feels so good." But Eleanor persisted, and within a week, she noticed the first changes. The constant redness on her cheeks began to subside. The feeling of tightness after washing diminished. Her skin started to look calmer. After a month, she was surprised to find that the network of capillaries was less noticeable and her skin required less moisturizing cream. What's the secret here? Hot water acts like a solvent on our skin. It washes away not only dirt and makeup, but also precious lipids, the natural fats that form the skin's protective barrier and retain moisture. Imagine the lipid barrier as the finest veil woven from oils, protecting your skin from drying out. Hot water ruthlessly tears this veil, leaving the skin exposed and defenseless against moisture loss and external irritants. Furthermore, hot water dilates blood vessels, leading to redness and, over time, can trigger or worsen cuperose. Lukewarm or cool water cleanses the skin effectively enough, but acts much more gently. It doesn't destroy the lipid barrier so aggressively and doesn't cause sudden vasodilation. It's like gently wiping a valuable antique vase with a damp, soft cloth, rather than scrubbing it with a brush under boiling water. By giving up hot water, Eleanor not only improved her skin's condition, but also felt that she was in control of her comfort, rather than being led by a fleeting pleasure that harmed her in the long run. So, my dears, the next time your hand reaches for the hot tap, remember the delicate veil of your skin. Choose lukewarm water. It's a simple but incredibly effective step towards healthy and calm skin. Okay, we've gently cleansed our face with a mild product and lukewarm water. The skin feels clean and calm. But what do we do next? Right, we reach for a towel. And here lies another detail that many don't even think about, yet it can subtly harm our skin. I'm talking about the towel you use to dry your face. If it's too rough, made of terry cloth, or the same towel you use for your body or hands, it can become a source of problems. What's the solution? Use a separate, very soft towel for your face, ideally microfiber or a special cotton facial towel, and don't rub the skin, but gently pat it dry. Meet David. He's 72. David is a practical man, not accustomed to frills. He always dried himself, body and face, with one large bath towel after showering. Why create extra laundry, he reasoned. The towel was quite old, already stiff from numerous washes. David vigorously rubbed his face with it, thinking it was invigorating. He didn't connect this habit with the fact that his facial skin was often irritated, and the wrinkles around his eyes seemed to be getting more noticeable. He thought, well, what do you expect at my age? Skin is skin. There was a kind of internal barrier. Admitting that something as trivial as a towel could affect anything seemed ridiculous to him. His wife, having read a cosmetologist's advice, bought him a set of small, incredibly soft microfiber towels specifically for his face and asked him to try them. David initially dismissed it as women's whims. Next, you'll tell me you bought me a pink one. But his wife gently insisted, explaining it wasn't a whim but skincare. She also showed him how to pat his face dry correctly, not rub it. Grumbling, David agreed to try, just to get her off his back. The first sensation of the soft fabric touching his face was unexpectedly pleasant. No friction, no scratching, just gentle moisture absorption. He started using these little towels every day. After a couple of weeks, he noticed his skin reddened less after washing. It looked smoother somehow, a hard-to-explain feeling of greater comfort. He even caught himself thinking that he liked this new feeling of softness. Why is this important? Our skin, after 60, loses elasticity and becomes thinner. Imagine it as a thin, delicate fabric, like antique lace. A rough towel, especially if used for vigorous rubbing, acts like a coarse brush on this fabric. It not only causes irritation and redness due to friction, but also stretches the skin, contributing to the appearance and deepening of wrinkles. Moreover, bacteria can accumulate on a bath towel used for the whole body and hanging in a damp bathroom environment, potentially causing inflammation when transferred to the face. A soft, separate facial towel, or even disposable paper towels, and patting motions are like handling that antique lace with care. You remove moisture without stretching or damaging the delicate fabric. Microfiber absorbs moisture excellently while remaining very soft. Patting, instead of rubbing, is an elementary act of respect for your skin. By changing just the way he dried his face, David felt not only physical comfort, but also a certain inner satisfaction from doing something right and gentle for himself. So, my dears, check your towels. Get a separate soft friend for your face and treat your skin gently, like the most precious silk. This small change will bring big dividends to your comfort and appearance. We've taken care of cleansing, water temperature, even the towel. The skin is breathing with cleanliness and comfort. But often, after washing, our hand reaches for a bottle of toner or lotion to seal the deal, tighten pores, or disinfect. And here, the last of our saboteurs for today might be waiting, potentially hiding in your cosmetic bag. These are products with a high alcohol content, alcohol denat, ethanol, isopropyl alcohol. Often, these are toners, lotions for oily skin, or aftershaves that promise to dry out and sanitize. What should you use instead? Choose hydrating, soothing tonics or lotions without alcohol, with ingredients like glycerin, hyaluronic acid, aloe vera, chamomile, or green tea extracts. Let's remember Susan, she's 66. Susan always had a tendency towards oiliness in her T-zone, forehead, nose, chin, and out of old habit, she continued using alcohol-based toners she bought back in her youth. She liked the squeaky clean and matte feeling they gave immediately after application. But at the same time, her cheeks and the area around her eyes became increasingly dry. Flakiness appeared, and the oiliness in the T-zone returned with a vengeance after an hour or two. She was bewildered. How can that be? I'm cleansing my skin, but it's still shiny and flaky at the same time. She felt trapped. The alcohol seemed to remove the oil but caused dryness, and without it, she felt her face would be greasy. During a visit to a cosmetologist, for a completely different reason, the doctor noticed the condition of her skin and inquired about her routine. Hearing about the alcohol-based toner, the cosmetologist gently explained its harm to mature skin and advised replacing it with a hydrating toner containing hyaluronic acid. Susan was full of doubt. A hydrating toner for my oily skin? Won't that make it even oilier? It seemed completely illogical to her. But trusting the specialist, she bought the recommended product. The texture was different, slightly thicker, without the harsh smell of alcohol. After application, there was no familiar tightness. Instead, a pleasant feeling of hydration. At first, it felt strange, like her skin wasn't clean enough, but she kept using it. And after a couple of weeks, she noticed something amazing. The oily shine in her T-zone appeared much later and was less pronounced, while the dryness and flakiness on her cheeks completely disappeared. Her skin looked more balanced even, and healthy. Why is alcohol so harmful, especially for aging skin? Alcohol is a very strong degreaser. It does instantly dissolve sebum, but along with it, it evaporates precious moisture from the skin and destroys its protective lipid barrier, that finest veil we talked about. Imagine alcohol as a gust of dry, hot desert wind. It might dry up a puddle momentarily, but it also parches the surrounding land, making it lifeless. In response to such aggressive degreasing, the skin, trying to protect itself, might start producing even more sebum, creating a vicious cycle. Additionally, alcohol causes irritation and increases skin sensitivity. Alcohol-free hydrating toners work differently. They act like a refreshing summer rain or a sip of pure water for your skin. They restore the pH balance after cleansing, moisturize, soothe, and prepare the skin for cream application, helping it absorb better. Hyaluronic acid attracts and retains moisture, glycerin softens, and plant extracts soothe. Susan realized that fighting oiliness requires not drying, but hydrating and restoring balance. This discovery changed her approach to skincare and gave her skin long-awaited comfort. Therefore, my dears, carefully read the ingredients of your toners and lotions. Avoid alcohol listed near the beginning of the ingredients list and choose products that will quench your skin's thirst, not dry it out. Your skin will respond with gratitude, calmness, hydration, and a healthy glow. So, there you have it. Seemingly small things, soap, scrub, water, towel, toner, can significantly affect the condition of our skin, especially in mature age. As you can see, sometimes the most familiar things can subtly work against us. But the main thing is, now you know about these hidden enemies, and how easily you can replace them with gentle and caring allies. Remember, my dears, your wisdom, your life experience, that is your treasure, and you, more than anyone, deserve to feel comfortable, confident, and beautiful at any age. Taking care of yourself isn't fuss. It's an expression of love and respect for yourself, for your body, that has served you so well and continues to serve you. Don't be afraid to try something new. Listen to your sensations. Choose what brings you comfort and joy. Small steps towards gentle care can lead to big and pleasant changes, not only in your appearance, but also in how you feel about yourself. Take care of yourself with tenderness and love, because your true beauty is timeless and always with you.